Welcome back to Q Dads. It's me, Ben, and yes, Christmas has come early as Apple have just dropped a 5-minute teaser for Silo Season 2. And obviously, as we have not read the books here, we will not be discussing any book spoilers at all. So that little twist at the end has made us see this teaser in a slightly different perspective. So let's waste no more time, hit that subscribe button because we will be keeping you up to date weekly with this show as it comes out. Let's dive in. So the 5-minute teaser opens with the inhabitants of a silo. And at first, I did think that this was a prequel to Silo 18 because we did have a lot of emphasis on the child. And I thought, could this be the child of maybe one of our main characters, like Bernard or something? But as we were proven at the end, we were completely wrong, and this is actually the backstory of another silo, which I'm still predicting to be Silo 17 for 2 main theories. So clearly we have a revolt here, some kind of rebellion of Silo 17, where some of the members are potentially judicial or above are deciding to flood the silo and almost force the people of the rebellion to go outside, probably knowing that they would all eventually die. So a couple of points, the first being around all the silos being interconnected. So I believe that there was a point where all the silos were connected together with some kind of underground network where they're able to flow freely, meaning that the other silos were aware of this rebellion. Is that the war that they all spoke of? And I say this because when it read on the note that there will be a flood in 15 minutes, if you recall your mind back to Season 1, Silo 18 actually had water in the bottom of that. Now, is this the water that has come from Silo 17? And actually, the flood wasn't just for that silo, but was for multiple silos, causing each one to shut the doors and start that journey of independence. Which is why Russell, in engineering of Silo 17, also closed those doors to prevent any further floods to other silos, and presumably this is why our doors are closed. And of course in this teaser we do see a group of people exit the silo, waving the green flag, to then only lead us back to the original trailer where Juliet discovers this flag. But this time we get to see those bodies in more detail, like the man holding the flag, and the mother and the child embracing the death that's just hit them. And of course the first trailer for this series, we did see her walking on multiple bodies, so this is obviously what happened. They just tried to exit the silo and all died due to the air not being breathable. And of course this does open the door for a couple of questions, which all stem around how much time has actually passed since they left their silo and Juliet left hers. So we can presume that on the rate of decay, that probably we're looking at a minimum of, let's say, 5 to 10 years, or even probably 1 generation, to be safe. Or, looking at the top end of the scale, we're probably looking at 1 to 200 years and even longer. Now, the reason I say 1 to 200 years is because people from other silos, particularly ours, Silo 18, seem to have forgotten the full details of the war, which is why I'm presuming that this was an inter-silo war between each other, which is what we've just seen a snippet of in this teaser. And this means that generations have passed, so people have forgotten, and we continue to live our lives as normal, all because the flood has had us locked down. However, the slightly more stranger theory is that this has only been probably 1 generation or less, and this is because of that character that we saw at the end of Silo Season 2 trailer, where he's hiding behind that door. Now, this is a character played by Steve Zahn, who is a phenomenal actor, and we've assumed that this guy was connected to Silo 17. So, what if all of the people have left the silo, and there's a few people left in engineering, like this person? And obviously Juliet makes her way into that silo because the doors would have been left open. I mean, no one would have closed the doors due to them all dying, so that's how she's been able to walk in. But she goes to engineering because that's what she knows in an attempt to open those flood doors to Silo 18. But obviously meets the residents there, this person. And this person remembers that rebellion, so thinks that Juliet is either part of it or the people against it and isn't quite sure. Now, for a moment, we could say that Juliet enters this silo. And as we've seen shots of her in the first trailer, she actually goes underwater. Now, does she go underwater and essentially overall can't survive in the silo by herself for whatever reason, and then leaves and actually goes to another silo, which is where we meet this character? Because that's the key. Or has this silo been completely flooded, meaning she can't even enter, and heads to another silo, which I'm going to call silo 19. So of course, when and what point does she meet this character? But of course, we are more than likely looking at hundreds of years with multiple generations passing, and that's due to the lack of knowledge about all of this, as our silo seems to think that it is the only one. And again, please remember, no book spoilers, as we've not read it here, and we don't want it ruined for the comments and other people either, so we do appreciate your support on that. And then we've still got to mention that we were teased at the first couple of seconds of this teaser with a poster where we're thanking the founders of the silos. And obviously it's been graffitied because people are just, let's say, not giving thanks to them. But for me and Steve, this does open up some questions about who the founders are and what are they now controlling. Like I've said previously, I believe that there was once an interconnecting network of silos that all thrived off each other, with these founders overseeing it all. And then, for whatever reason, climate change, nuclear war on top, drove everyone down below and added that extra little bit of pressure. So then, over the course of generations, we've then seen them start to hate each other. And then in this particular teaser is when we see the founders have decided to make a move, or potentially judicial, or whoever's calling the shots. But essentially, they've pulled the plug and said, let's flood it. Let's get rid of all of them. Which of course makes me think that this is not a worldwide event, and is in fact actually, we're probably presuming that this is in the state of Georgia, an isolated incident. Because if you have the power to be able to flood a whole silo, killing hundreds or thousands of people, you've got to be able to not worry about the hindrance to humanity after, presuming that that's what these silos are there for, to help humanity get back on its feet. But killing loads of people would go against that. Have we just seen the events of Silo 17 and how other silos used to work? Or is this a completely different silo to the one that our mystery man is? And in fact, our mystery man is in Silo 19. It's going to get confusing, and when the series actually drops, we'll number these correctly. But yeah, let's work with it. So most likely, this isn't the same silo as the one with the man at the bottom, because this one is probably flooded. And if you actually look at the very end of the teaser, you see Juliet walking off in the distance. And just behind her, we can see that flag and all the bodies. And because she's walking away, we can only presume that she's already visited that silo and couldn't get in. Or presumably, she didn't want to go in with all those bodies outside. But what is it that she was looking at in the distance? Was she looking at the distant city? Was she looking at more silos, destruction, or even something else? But of course, I'm going to leave you with that thought, guys. So thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because we will be keeping you updated weekly with Silo. And of course, the highly anticipated Severance in the next couple of months, which I am personally looking forward to. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time with something new.